Welcome everybody back to Forza Horizon 5, and we're in A-Class street racing once again, and this time we're in the 2022 GMC Hummer EV pickup. So yeah, been really looking forward to racing this, as I love racing my EVs, and this is another one of those kind of cars. So yeah, as you can see by the stats, the braking, the launch, the acceleration are all really rather good. The speed is better than the stat would have you believe, but the handling isn't the greatest by any means, but it does have 50-50 weight distribution, which is helpful, and it does now weigh 200 pounds less than it did originally at 8,863 pounds, which is obviously still a hell of a lot, especially for any racing online or anything like that. And you're unlikely to find a car that weighs heavy more than this. So yeah, that is going to be a bit of a detriment, but it does have way more in the way of power and torque. Being an electric vehicle, the power is practically instantaneous, especially the torque, and yeah, even though it's slightly slower to 60 due to it getting a better top speed, it's quicker to 100, and like I said, it is better at the top end. So yeah, so let's see how it does in this first race against the likes of Aston Martins, Ferraris, and other kind of sporty kind of cars like the new Nissan Z car. So yeah, could go either way. I don't think people like the fact that I'm in a Hummer off-roader EV vehicle. Doesn't seem to get the best reception from people that want to ram me off the road, but hopefully that's not the case today. And obviously, being a street race, we've got AI cars to deal with as well. But yeah, the acceleration on this one, it does get going, is really great. It's extremely relentless up until it gets to its top speed. Yeah, even though the handling's not perfect, at least it does have all-wheel drive and those motors working overtime to redistribute the power. But yeah, we do have the off occasion when we hit a tree. I have done that before in the past when trying to race this car online, and yeah, we've done it again. So it does have its downsides. So yeah, so does every car on these games that you race online, pretty much. And I have had a couple of victories in this as well, so yeah, because like I said, I couldn't wait to race it, so I did do so in my own time. And as per usual, people are using the cheatsy way of getting around this course. Or at least some of them seem to have been doing that, but maybe not. Come on, pick up the pace. Really not giving it the best first showing here. At least we shouldn't be coming last. Yeah, the AI traffic do get in the way at times, either via being crashed into by others or just normally. It can be on your inside line, for instance, which is something you really got to watch out for. It can also be on the other side of blind corners, especially if you're in the city. Someone else has met a tree. I know the feeling on that one. Well, we didn't come last eventually. Top 5. It's decent enough, I guess, given the kind of car we're in. So yeah, now it has 1,334 horsepower, which is 308 extra horsepower over its standard performance or power output, and it now has 1,212 pounds-feet of torque, which is 280 pounds-feet of torque extra. So yeah, quite an upheaval in power there, which is, yeah, one of the big advantages of EVs is the fact that you can get way more power out of them than you can ever do so in stock form. Although obviously it still had well over 1,000 horsepower even in its stock form, so it was hardly underpowered to start with, but yeah, now it's even more relentlessly powered, despite the fact it's still got its 3 electric motors and 212.7 kilowatt hour battery. So yeah, but with that extra power and the reduction in weight, it is inevitably a quick car. Like I said, not quicker to 60, as it can do 3.280 seconds to 60, which is 2.80 of a second slower than normal. But like I said, that was purely to get extra speed, because it can now do 0 to 100 in 7.182 seconds, which is nearly a second quicker than stock, and it will do 172 miles an hour, which is 65 mile an hour quicker than it could do originally. So yeah, that's why the acceleration to 60 isn't quite as good. It's to extend the top speed, which you really do need on these kind of races. 107 mile an hour, as you can see by the speed we're doing now, would be nowhere near enough. So yeah. Definitely one thing you have to realise with EVs is their top speed in stock forms are usually quite low. Only really the likes of the Audi e-tron and the Porsche Taycan are anything that you'd expect to be have a higher top speed than most EVs. So yeah, they're the only two that I can think of that are on this game that aren't hypercars that have high top speed. So yeah. I wouldn't expect a Mazda MX-5 and a Hummer EV to be two racing competitors and be evenly matched in some ways. It does make a lot of noise, as you can hear, unlike when we used this in Extreme Off-Road Silly Builds, because that had the Rimac Nevera electric motors and batteries, which are a lot quieter than this when upgraded. So weirdly, it sounds a lot more sporty than with even more horsepower and torque than a hypercar. But I guess that shows how refined that Rimac Nevera really is. Ooh, yeah. Good job to upgrade the brakes, because yeah, you've got a lot of weight to slow down when it comes to momentum. Not done as well this time. These shorter point-to-point races don't really favour this car. Some more longer ones where it can really stretch its legs that it gets the best out of it from, but still, we're not last, at least. Which, considering what we're in, which is far from a sports car, is really rather good. And obviously there are supercars out there as well, with the likes of the Ferrari F40 and the Aston Martin, so yeah, still fairly good. Comfortably ahead of a brand new sports car, which is kind of impressive, I guess, and we're still in 5th place on the leaderboard overall for the championship. So yeah, let's see what we can do in this 3rd race. I don't think we'll do another lobby, because yeah, this car is unpredictable to say the least when it comes to what it can and can't do. Not saying I hate driving it, because I do love driving it, like I do with all the other EVs that I've used on these races, on these online races, but yeah, it's not as predictable or as, kind of easy to get used to as, say, the likes of the Cupra Tavascan or the Audi e-tron, which is probably the best EV for this class, quite frankly. But yeah, it still has its own place in terms of how much I enjoy it. So let's see if we can finally pull a decent position out of the bag with this final race. We're beating a Ferrari F40 in a straight line, which is not half bad. See, that's a far older car, but still. So I'll do what you'd call slow. We can do 201 mile an hour. Which is far faster than us in a straight line, that's for sure. Really does have good acceleration out of corners as well, which is extremely useful. Especially considering I'm not going to be going into those corners at the highest of speeds, given what I'm driving. Typical of someone to ram into you. People expect you in a big SUV to be the car ramming around, but then it's someone like that in a Civic that does it instead. Oh, time to hold too much speed through there. God damn it. There's people that ram into me that really put me off because I try and then get ahead of them again and just don't manage it. Hold it, hold it. Speed. Slight bump there, Aston Martin. That's karma police for you, Nissan. God damn it. See what I mean? Online lobbies are very hit and miss in terms of the quality of the drivers that we've been up against. I have been up against very good people when driving just this alone in my own time, but yeah, as you can see there, the Civic was ramming into me, the Vantage was ramming into me, and the Nissan was ramming into me as well, so yeah, when you got three people that are just wanting to push you off the road, it's very difficult to, you know, hold your own. But still, I find the Hummer to be extremely good to drive online, and yeah, it has brought me some victories in the past, but unfortunately, not quite today. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to have time really to fit in another lobby, which is unfortunate because obviously this car is really rather good in its own right, but sadly, not quite able to show that off today. Obviously, we had a couple of top 5 places, but when only 1 or 2 people are then behind you, that's not exactly the biggest of victories. So, yeah, which is a bit of a shame. But still, hope you've seen what this car is capable of doing in terms of what other EVs are like. But still, it's far from the you know, the most predictable and the easiest of cars to drive. It does take a lot of work to get it around corners, and yeah, it's made it all a bit more difficult when people assume you're going to be someone that's going to crash into them because you're in a car of this size and weight, but quite frankly, obviously you're not. But still, regardless, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.